When people get elected as President of the United States, the public pries into every nook and cranny of their private lives. But we bet that you still don't know everything there is to know about these important political figures. Stay tuned until the end to hear the tragic reason behind Trump's sobriety. Before we jump into it, make sure to like this video, subscribe to The Richest, and join our notification squad. Now, here's 10 things you didn't know about American presidents. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Franklin D. Roosevelt, also known as FDR, became the 32nd President of the United States in 1933. Although he's well known for leading America through World War II, many people don't know that he was an avid stamp collector. What started out as a hobby when he was just a kid turned into something that he dedicated time to every day, even throughout his presidency. FDR claimed that he owed his life to stamp collecting. He found solace in the hobby, and it's what helped to relax him when he was under pressure. John F. Kennedy. In 1961, John F. Kennedy became the 35th President of the United States. While he isn't the only president to have done this, you probably didn't know that Kennedy donated his entire presidential salary to charity. Thanks to a family fortune that was built up by his father, JFK reportedly had a $10 million trust fund that he chose to live off of instead. Some charities that he chose to give to were the Cuban Families Committee, the United Negro College Fund, and the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts of America. Due to the fact that he also donated what he earned while he was in Congress, it is estimated that he gave away $500,000 throughout his political career. George H.W. Bush. George H.W. Bush served as the 41st President of the United States between 1989 and 1993. During the 1941 Pearl Harbor attack, Bush was a senior at a prestigious Massachusetts boarding school. After graduating, he decided to enlist himself in the Navy Reserve. Bush trained to become a pilot and officially became one before he turned 19, making him the youngest aviator in the U.S. Navy at the time. Although he received the Distinguished Flying Cross and 3 air medals, Bush has admitted that he doesn't really agree when people call him a hero. Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon served as the 37th President of the United States between 1969 and 1974 before he infamously resigned from office. We all know that he was the only president to ever resign, but did you know that he was born and raised a Quaker? He was brought up with conservative Quaker values and wasn't allowed to dance, drink, or swear. He even attended Whittier College, a Quaker college in California. While Nixon never spoke much about his religious background, he reportedly also never withdrew his membership from the East Whittier Friends Church. Gerald Ford. Gerald Ford is well known for serving as the 38th President of the United States without ever being elected. An interesting fact about this president is that his birth name wasn't Gerald Ford. He was originally named Leslie Lynch King Jr. after his biological father. However, Ford's parents divorced soon after his birth, and his father left the picture entirely. When his mother remarried a man named Gerald Rudolph Ford, she began to call him Gerald R. Ford Jr. Ford was even led to believe that his stepfather was his real father until he was 13 years old. He eventually had his name legally changed in 1935. Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan became the 40th President of the United States in 1981. You probably didn't already know that while Reagan was quitting pipe smoking, he developed a jelly bean eating habit. His favorite flavor was licorice, and his favorite brand was Jelly Belly. When he entered office, one of Reagan's first orders was for 3.5 tons of jelly beans to be stocked at the White House. He also reportedly ordered 720 bags of jelly beans per month and had the candy on display throughout the White House. While his jelly bean obsession lasted for years, he eventually turned to M&Ms in his final year in office. Harry S. Truman. After serving as vice president for just 82 days, Harry S. Truman became the 33rd President of the United States in 1945. While most people assume that the S in his name is an initial for his middle name, he actually never had a middle name. His parents couldn't decide on one and ended up choosing the letter S to honor both of his grandfathers. This simple letter has become a subject of controversy in the world of grammar due to the fact that it doesn't need to be followed by a period. However, Truman always put a period after the S whenever he signed his name. Herbert Hoover. Herbert Hoover served as the 31st President of the United States between 1929 and 1933. While many people like to associate him with the Great Depression, he is also the only president that knew how to speak Mandarin. Before becoming president, he worked as a mining engineer and had relocated to China for 2 years due to his job. He and his wife learned the language while they were living there. They even spoke Mandarin to each other at the White House whenever they didn't want people to understand what they were saying. His wife was reportedly more fluent than he was. Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter became the 39th President of the United States in 1977, and just 4 years prior, he had filed a report claiming that he had seen a UFO back in 1969. He said that he was outside waiting for a Lions Club meeting to begin when he saw a bright object the size of the moon in the sky. He called it the darndest thing I've ever seen and vowed never again to make fun of people who claim to have seen a UFO. While he promised to make all UFO information available to the public once he became president, that never ended up happening. Donald Trump. In January 2017, reality TV star and businessman Donald Trump began his career as the 45th President of the United States. While his Twitter feed might suggest otherwise, did you know that Trump has never had a drink? While that might sound crazy, he has a good reason for it. His brother Fred was an alcoholic who passed away from his addiction at the age of 42. Trump never touched a drop of alcohol because he was worried that one drink would turn him into an alcoholic like Fred. He reportedly even told his children to resist drinking as well. That's all for 10 things you didn't know about American presidents. Who do you think our next POTUS will be? Oprah? Kanye? Mark Zuckerberg? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome videos daily.